The mainstream theory says the Egyptian pyramids, particularly the Great Pyramid of Giza, were built as tombs for pharaohs about 4,500 years ago during the Fourth Dynasty. They supposedly used massive labor forces, primitive tools, and sheer manpower to haul and precisely place millions of limestone blocks. But let's poke some holes in that narrative. First off, the precision of these structures is fucking mind-blowing. The Great Pyramid is aligned within 0.05 degrees of true north. The base is almost a perfect square with only a tiny variation. How the hell did they manage that with copper tools and rolling logs? Modern engineers would struggle to replicate that accuracy without advanced tech. Plus, the dimensions of the pyramid are based on complex mathematical constants like pi and the golden ratio. These concepts supposedly weren't even known in that era. The pyramids are aligned with such precision to the cardinal points and specific stars, particularly the Orion constellation. This suggests an advanced understanding of astronomy. Some researchers argue that the positioning and layout mirror the stars in Orion's belt, implying a knowledge of celestial navigation far beyond what mainstream historians credit them for. The Great Pyramid consists of roughly 2.3 million blocks, each weighing between 2.5 to 80 tons. Mainstream theory suggests it was built over 20 years. Doing the math, that means placing one block every 2 to 3 minutes, 24/7. Even with a massive workforce, that's a logistical nightmare, especially considering the supposed primitive methods. The tools and methods described by mainstream archaeology, copper chisels, stone hammers, and sledges are grossly inadequate for the job. Copper is too soft to cut through granite or even limestone effectively. Also, the idea of dragging these massive blocks over sand on wooden sleds, then lifting them to such precise heights and angles, just doesn't hold up under scrutiny. The mainstream theory also claims tens of thousands of workers built these pyramids, not slaves but paid laborers. But even with a massive workforce, the sheer scale of the project is beyond what would be feasible with the technology and resources of the time. Plus, the skeletal remains found near the pyramids show signs of severe strain and injuries that suggest hard labor, but not on the scale of what would be necessary to complete the pyramids in 20 years.
Now, let's look at some alternative theories that might explain the pyramids better. Some suggest an ancient advanced civilization, possibly predating the Egyptians, with sophisticated technology built the pyramids. This lost civilization theory posits that the knowledge was passed down or the structures were inherited by the Egyptians. Another popular theory involves extraterrestrial intervention. Proponents argue that aliens with advanced technology might have either helped build the pyramids or built them themselves. The precision and scale of the pyramids could be seen as evidence of otherworldly knowledge and capability. There are also fringe theories about the use of sound and vibration to move massive stones. Acoustic levitation, a concept where sound waves are used to lift and transport objects, is an intriguing idea, though it lacks concrete evidence in this context. There is speculation that the Egyptians had access to technologies that were lost over time. This includes advanced knowledge of engineering, physics, and possibly even electricity. Some point to the Baghdad battery as evidence that ancient cultures might have had rudimentary electrical knowledge. Lastly, the purpose of the pyramids might be misunderstood. Instead of tombs, they could have been used for other functions like energy generation or as astronomical observatories. The lack of mummies or typical burial artifacts in the Great Pyramid adds weight to this argument. The mainstream narrative of the pyramids being simple tombs built with primitive tools doesn't hold up under scrutiny. The evidence points to a far more advanced understanding of engineering, mathematics, and astronomy. Whether it's lost ancient technology, alien intervention, or another unknown factor, it's clear that the pyramids' true origin and purpose remain one of history's greatest mysteries. So, while the mainstream theory has been taught for generations, it's time to question and explore alternative explanations that better fit the extraordinary nature of these ancient wonders.